I have an issue with this because when they came in here 2 weeks ago and asked about this and everything, they said that David Holtz was going to run that. Well, after I left here that night, I got thinking about that. David Holtz is the Township Road Commissioner, and I went to Rick and I said, why can't the township use their grader to do that? He said, I don't know, if somebody told David that he couldn't do that. I'm thinking, why do we need to get involved in that? And I really think that people really need to separate public entity from private entity and not be doing something like this. Nothing against anybody, but it comes down, you start getting exposed to a can of worms, you start doing this.
If I can throw out there, I asked the same question about David Holtz because he is the road commissioner, being an elected official. He solely controls his equipment. And David said that he didn't want it to look like there wasn't anybody basically overseeing him. And so that if he went and got his piece of equipment to go up there and do that work, that it, on the surface it may look bad or however you want to put it. But I did ask that very same question.
But it looks bad for us to do the same thing because you're going to have people saying, well, why should let me do that? And I can sit there and give you examples, personal examples of myself in trying to get something done by the city. And they just refuse me to do it, for me to pay the city to go out and take care of something. And I don't think it's right that we should be doing this.
Other discussion?
One last thing is that we needed some mowing done, so I went to the fair board and it's kind of, you know, they said that they could come up with basically the same thing. They could do some mowing for us, or we could use their equipment, but they kind of want a trade-off here, so.
And I've heard about that too, but I think that's something else that we got a tenant on that ground out there, and he can probably take care of the mowing if we asked him to take care of that.
Comments?
My thoughts on it are, in the past, the city council and the fair board haven't gotten along at all. This is just one way that I want to work with the fair board. My son's not on the fair board anymore, so the last time somebody made a comment, we did something, is because there should have been a conflict of interest because my son was on it, but he's no longer on there now. And I just want to try to get along with the fair board and have some nice things happen out there. They're in a pinch money-wise. If we can help them.
Just think it's a good move today.
Pat?
I agree with it too. I think we need to keep getting a better relationship with them. Number one, we're all gonna work together, we're all in the same community, we're supposed to start learning to get along. And number two, we'll have to make money using it.
I'm not saying not to get along. I'm just saying you should need to separate private entity from public entity. And we're a public entity and they're taxpayer money and we're going up there and we shouldn't be doing it. I'm not saying we shouldn't get along, but in this case, I don't think we need to be doing that sort of thing. In the past, my God, the city used to go up there and do all kinds of stuff. And city employees were getting paid overtime by the city to go do it. And that wasn't right either. Shouldn't have been doing that in the past. There's been a lot done that you guys really don't know about, and we go back quite a ways. But I'm not against the fair board. I'm not against it because of what's happened. Maybe I didn't agree with all of it. I just don't think we need to be doing this sort of thing. If you want to do that, then I want that boring machine we probably got sitting around someplace down with a light plant. I'm gonna have it down in my building, boring underneath my building, to put a water line in. You know, and I'm willing to pay for it. But you know, if they don't want to do that, that's fine. I just accepted it and went on.
Could you speak to the lawyer on this? Is there any issues whatsoever?
No, the big thing was just the insurance in case something happened. And today Kurt Holman brought in a copy of an insurance policy, $1 million insurance on equipment. So, you know, from that standpoint, it's covered. You've got a copy of the basic agreement that just touches base on the issues there. So,
Any other discussion? Go ahead and call it.
Pearl,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
McKinley,
No.
motion carried.
I'd like to bring resolution 2000 2013-17, to table agreement for the use of TIF District 1 grant funds for damage loss. This is 223 South Main Street.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
Again, this went around the committee. This is, I believe, right at 50% of the cost of the roof, which is generally what the TIF committee agrees to.
Comes to 5,000, right?
555.
555. Call it.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
Pearl,
Yes.
motion carried.
That brings us to Resolution 2013-18, agreement for the use of TIF District 1 grant funds for Tom Rick at 221 South Main, Farmer City.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
This went around the TIF committee as well. What Tom was wanting to do down there is replace the front windows and have a roof put on. So this is a combination of the 50% of the roof, and what was the percentage on the windows, Sandy?
You
So
said
it was a higher
75.
amount.
75.
70,
75, I believe.
75.
75% of the windows.
Discussion. Any questions? Call it.
Harden,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
Pearl,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
motion carried.
This brings ordinance 919, amending the TIF plan for TIF 1 by extending the date of termination until December 31st, 2014.
Second.
Discussion.
Speaking with our attorneys, because the TIF was set to expire here in June, and so we were talking with our attorneys, and they said that the way that the TIF had been written, that we could get a one-year extension. That one-year extension will allow money to come in for projects that have already been spent for, like Liquid Edge, and we've already had money set aside for them. So that is what this allows us to do. The gentleman who wrote the original TIF agreement is the one that drafted this ordinance.
Any questions?
Who was it, Larry?
Kurt Froelich.
Call it.
McKinley,
Yes.
Pearl,
Yeah.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
motion carried.
This brings us to ordinance 920. This is an ordinance authorizing a promissory note to Hardin Bank for a 2011 Chevrolet Impala and authorizing the city manager and city clerk to negotiate and execute all necessary documents regarding said agreement, not to exceed $13,293.19.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
How many police cars do we have now? There are
4.
4 new cars?
I mean,
New? New. Did we just buy 2 new cars?
No, we haven't bought, no, the newest car's 2008. There was a used car purchased last budget year.
We did have new stickers put on,
Yes.
yeah, new decals.
Let me give you a little history on this, just so you folks know, is that there's approximately $12,000 put in the budget, and that was set aside, if you, for you to remember, Moore's wasn't in on this part of it. That was 50% of a new car. A new car is right at $24,500. I went back and I told the chief that it didn't look like that was going to really work out well. So he started making phone calls, and he came up with this 2011 Impala. It has never been titled. It only has 3,000 miles on it. Has the remaining factory warranty on it for $13,200. $3.19. So you're literally buying a brand new car at almost half the price of what a 2013 would be right now. So this would just allow me to go to the bank and sign the documents.
Would you be retiring one vehicle?
Yes, there is a trade in the 2005 that was purchased with impound fees. That car will be retired. It has a trade-in value of $2,900, I believe.
Questions or discussion? Paula?
Pearl.
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
McKinley,
No.
motion is carried.
This moves us on to section 4, other items, city manager and his report.
I only have a couple things. The mayor and I met out the light plant with the president from BHMG. They're the engineers for the light plant. Went over several things as far as the upgrades that have been going out there. And it was highly recommended that there's a breaker out there inside the building. And that breaker is anywhere from 40 to 45 years old and is in dire need of replacement. So we're going to get that taken care of right away. Quite frankly, if that breaker goes out, we're going to be sitting in the dark for a while. Once again, as a follow-up, I spoke with the county highway superintendent about signs on the bridge out here on Salt Creek. He said that it just hasn't made it to his list yet. I told him that now that summer's here, the pedestrian traffic is more out there than what it has been before. If any of you received phone calls, there was a small intended power outage today. There was some tree limbs down on the power line. And so the guys went and they cut the power in the 600 blocks of East Green Market and Water so they could remove the limbs out of the lines. Rick reported to me that he had a couple of transformers containing PCBs, and so he was getting rid of those. Obviously, a company's coming in, it's going to cost about $1,400 to dispose of them properly. And received a phone call late today from Congressman Rodney Davis. He'll be here on July 12th. Mark your calendars. He will actually be here from 1 to 2:30 p.m. That'll be the
What
first.
time? 1:30 to...
From 1 to 2:30 p.m. on July 12th. He will be present for a town hall type meeting. After that, he'll just have a representative here on a monthly basis.
What's that date again?
July 12th,
I'll make, I don't know if...
they'll be advertising it.
All right, I'll advertise it in response too.
And the last thing is, there was discussion the last time about the directional bore under Salt Creek. Willard had asked the depth of that. I called the company, and it'll actually be anywhere from 10 to 15 feet underneath the creek bed. And when I called today, they gave us an updated price. We weren't allowed to do it last year because of the water main and everything. It only went up $200, so right now we're at $16,020, well under what was budgeted. So I'm going to be directing them to put us on the list to get that done so we can get water and stuff.
Are we gonna go any farther with that water once we've got it there? It's just gonna stay in South Park, isn't it? We're not going across the road any place or no plans of doing that?
No, there's no plans to do that.
Do we all realize that South Park is not in the city limits?
Yes.
They plan on having that done this summer.
Yes, they said after I gave them the word, it'd be about 2 weeks out. And then they'll get that done, and then the pressure will be on the city guys to get it hooked up.
And well, you think we can have water working at South Park here this summer?
I'm sure hoping so. If we get it, it'll be there. Now, that water main was put in when South Park was developed. You're gonna have all kinds of leaks. So they'll be chasing leaks for a while. Those old yard hydrants have been sitting there all this time. The fire hydrants have been sitting there, so you'll have some issues.
One of the biggest complaints I heard last summer is evidently they have a little leak out there or there's no water for them.
Right, right. And one last thing is today, IDNR gave us the permit to revamp the soccer field. I reported several months ago that Marty Price had asked about having the soccer field reworked. That's in floodplain, they gave us permit today to do that.
Pat, you have something?
On that water main, we already got the hydrants and everything that's already out there. With the stuff that will be going into the lake or the creek, is that gonna be connecting it to the others that's already out there? or-
That's right, yes. Yep.
Any questions to the city manager and his report? Move on to non-agenda items and other business. Mr. McKinley, yes, sir.
Codification books, or code books that we have for ordinances. I talked to Sandy this week about that, and he said they got put by the wayside. Now, I doubt any Ford, you know anything about this, but 25 years ago or so, we did this. We took all the ordinances that the city had, sent them to a codification company, and they coded them and put them in a book. There's a book for every alderman. Now, whatever happened to them, I don't know. But when did you come here? Who was the mayor?
Peter.
Peter.
But they've been updated up through 2008.
So did you send it back to the codification company and they sent us those
Updated sheets.
updated sheets? Okay. Because that's a tool for us that we should have in our possession. Not only us, but the police department should have it too. And it should be a copy of it in the library, so people can go and take a look at it on their own. And the library's open. I'd like to see that come back, because I want one of those. That's one thing.
Very
I
good.
was gonna say, that's a good idea too.
Whose campers at the sewer plant?
I don't know.
What's it doing there? What's it doing there?
I'll have to find out. I honestly didn't know that there was a camper out there.
There's a pop-up camper out there.
Okay.
One over here on John.
No, he
No, it's
said
at the sewer
plant.
plant.
Okay.
Where's it at?
Well, you come, when I come to town, it's sitting up there, you drive in the gate, it's up on the left-hand side up there by the fence.
Okay.
Are we still parking the car in over here at the garage?
Cars inside the garage?
No. Are we parking police officers' private car inside the garage over here?
Yes,
Why?
because the city council said that it was okay to do.
One of the issues that we've had is that there was some vandalism being done to the police officer's car. And it was brought to our attention, and we thought to help protect our, one of our officers' private property, that it was in the best interest that we allowed to park in the car. So that was a year and a half ago, I believe.
Personal vehicles are not allowed to be worked on here, but private cars are allowed to be parked inside.
When you're mowing, are you mowing on whose time, our time or the,
My time,
okay, take its vacation when you do that?
yes, I am.
Okay.
And since you're asking, the mayor knows when I'm going.
Okay. Water and electric meters. How many water meters do we have that's not working right now? Do you know?
I couldn't give you a number, I don't know.
I'd like to know that number.
Okay?
Then if we're doing, are we set up to do remote meters? Do we have the remote meters?
Yes, that's what, and that's what Nelda got, she got a,
Okay, why aren't we pursuing this to put more of them in? That's something I think it should be
We
a
are.
priority thing to take care of and get them in as quickly as
we are
possible.
constantly ordering new meters and updating.
When do you plan to have this done?
It's a couple-year project, cost of new water meters and light meters.
No, but you were on my list, just to let you know that I was going to bring up your issue and everything. So just to, and about the meeting on the union contract for the police. You said last week, I questioned that you and Josh were part of it. You went to the meeting, is that correct? With parameters, and when were the parameters set out, when were they lined out and everything? Open session, closed session?
Executive session.
Executive
Yes.
session. I have to ask why, because wouldn't that be something to be in an open session?
You would want to, why would
I question why, because I'm only questioning why, right
My
now.
my question would be, why would you bring out in an open session how far we would be willing to go with the police department in certain negotiations? That'd be my only question. Because I hate to say it this way, wouldn't we be revealing our hand?
but I'm not sure that you shouldn't be reviewing your I'm not questioning whether whether you did a legal thing. Then I'm questioning if you went to this meeting, where'd you have the meeting at? Where was it at?
FOP?
FOP meetings, when we went and talked with the FOP
Yes,
at the fire station.
at the fire station. And who was at that meeting?
The union rep, the union officer, our lawyer, Andy, Larry, Josh, and myself.
And that would be an open meeting too. See, I look at this as you two as being the majority of quorum, and that can be a problem, I think.
No, you, the majority quorum is 3.
It's a quorum of a quorum.
Yeah, it's 3. 2,
Yeah,
you
have a
can't have
five-member
2.
board, so you're allowed to do
Yes,
And that's all I have.
very good. Anyone else have any non-agenda items or other business? I have 3 points.
I have one.
Yes, sir.
That ditch that we took care of last year, going towards Hucks,
Yes,
we're gonna need to mow that.
we were gonna do that with the Fair Board's mower, if we
Okay.
can get something worked out, because you gotta have a bat wing for that, Mac, and we don't have the equipment to keep that powered, but yes, that was on the list.
One question real quick. The trail out there at South Park, can we send a mower down that trail? I don't know if I'm the only one who uses it, but the grass is like really high. Just every now and then. I appreciate that. Any other non-agenda, other business before I hit my 3 items I need to talk about real quick? Minor real quick. I have set another open house meeting for September. In light of the congressman